Hey there, good folks. Dr. Charlie Brown here. Today's Charlie Chats, our topic is dealing with difficult things, difficult times, and 4 tips on how we can kind of get through our everyday in these very difficult times, and just really when times are difficult at either a personal, individual, or collective level. These things will work always. So my first suggestion is to name it. We are inexperienced in actually naming and feeling all of our emotions, kind of the full spectrum of them. So my challenge to you is to see if you can come up with a name for the thing that you're feeling. Is it something that has a name? Is it despair? Is it grief? Is it sorrow? Is it amazement beyond expectation? It might be a combination of some of these things, but see if you can name it. See if you can come up with a thing that calls it by name. Even if it's a combination of things, or even if it's not a real word, if it's a made up something, that absolutely counts as well. First still, if you can't come up with a name, can you come up with a name that is a placeholder for something that is unnameable? That will also have the same effect. Second, then, tell somebody that you've named this thing. Maybe it's a friend, maybe it's a stranger, maybe it's someone you don't know as well. But tell them that you've named this feeling that you've been feeling, and express it out, like give it a voice. Let it know that it has been seen and heard and acknowledged. And maybe then you invite the person you told and the feeling, maybe you invite them both to tea or coffee, and give it a place. Give it a place at the table. Let it exist. Sometimes we want to suppress things that don't feel good or things that are very uncomfortable, and or we don't know how to feel or express them. But giving it a voice really can go a long way in helping to move through the difficult thing. So give it a place at the table, and if you're feeling extra creative with it, or if you're feeling like you need to take it a step further, maybe write as if you were the voice of that feeling, the voice of that thing, or draw or dance or scream or talk to the trees. See if you can tell someone. My guest would prefer to be a person, but you do what works for you. I would prefer a person. I can't project that one to you. But tell someone. My suggestion would be to tell someone who can talk back, because again, so many of us are feeling this difficulty, this frustration and this friction in our current times, but also that could be at any time in our own personal lives or our professional lives or wherever it may show up. Friction exists. Often we're taught to ignore the friction and suppress the friction or repress the friction, and really friction is necessary, and naming it and feeling it and naming it can go a long way in kind of understanding and getting through it. Number 3, take it to the body. One of my teachers is Dr. Sue Morter, who is an amazingly brilliant, phenomenal woman. She's came out with her book, The Energy Codes, but she's been doing the energy codes work for a long time now. She talks about taking it to the body. She has you breathe through your central channel. I'll put some links so you can find that, but she talks about that a lot. Breathing through your central channel, which is essentially the front of your spinal cord. So breathe up from above your head to down below your feet, and just breathe through that central channel. When you're feeling something, whether it's physical pain or emotional pain, see where in your body that is lighting up, that is showing up. If your foot hurts, squeeze your foot back as if you were giving it an internal hug, and then breathe through it and through your central channel all at the same time. And my fourth suggestion for dealing with things in kind of difficult times, but in real time, like in things that we can do every day at any time, is tapping. You may have heard of tapping. It's also called the Emotional Freedom Technique, or EFT, and it involves finding specific places on your body that are connected to your meridians. Think traditional Chinese medicine. So connected to your meridian lines, and you're tapping specific points. If that is something that speaks to you, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of practitioners. Do a quick Google search or a quick YouTube search and find some that speak to you. It's called tapping, or EFT, or the emotional freedom technique. Or don't tap. That's based on very specific points in your body. If you just kind of felt around your arms, your head, your torso, your feet, your legs, and you found spots that were tender or sore that didn't have to do with being bruised or an illness or a wound or something like that, that are sore for no particular apparent reason, go ahead and rub those for 10 seconds. If it's your body is approximately symmetrical. So there's probably 2 of them for sure. But go ahead and rub those. Any spot that's tender and doesn't have a cause to be tender, just rub it for like 10 seconds. It also, you don't have to tap. You could also just kind of hug yourself. You can touch yourself in ways that feel good and feel safe for you, to just kind of reassure your body that you are in fact there for it. It can feel really isolating in this time, or in any challenging times. So those are my 4 tips. And continue breathing as you do any of them, honestly. Certainly the second 2, the last 2, 3 and 4, take it to the body, and tapping and breathing through that central core, those can certainly be done in combination. But whenever you feel the difficulty, take it to your breath. Like if you breathe into your body, that opens up space for you to maybe deal with it from a slightly different perspective. It may even surprise you. So name the thing you're feeling, come up with a name for the thing that you're feeling, tell someone that you've named it, take it to the body, and tap or don't tap, but kind of hold your body, embrace your body, find ways to touch different parts of your body. And you can, of course, combine that with breathing and or taking it to the body. So I hope these are helpful tips for you. Definitely leave a comment if they are, and feel free to share this with your friends and loved ones. Dr. Charli Brown here. You can find out more about me at drcharlibrown.com. That's Charli with just an I, and Brown like the color. Until we meet again, take great care.